Hi everybody, it's Diana with StampingWithDie.com. Welcome to this week's Mimeograph Monday with a twist, and I have a fun card to share with you today. I don't think I used this stamp set at all. I do think I only used a greeting one time, so I was excited to play with this set, and it has a matching die, and I love when stamp sets have matching dies. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Diana, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. So the time changed, so if you have been here before and you're used to seeing me at 3 o'clock Arizona time, Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays, the time may look different to you if you changed your clock. We don't change our clock in Arizona, so it's still 3 o'clock my time, but if you're used to joining me at a certain time, usually you're gonna probably want to adjust your adjust that so you remember. So anyway, so I just want to let you know it's still 3 o'clock here, but it probably isn't at your house. So whatever time it is, I'm glad you're here. So I'm going to stop blabbing so I can get adjusted. All right, close your eyes for a second while I get my camera adjusted. My regular computer is in the shop, so I'm using my old laptop. So it took me a while to figure out how to get it to use the webcam and not the little camera that the laptop has. Okay, so let's get to this. Don't forget that right this month I will be pre-ordering the new catalogs that will be starting in May. So you want to make sure, if you have not ordered from me since October 2022, and you spent at least $50 before tax and shipping, then I don't have you in the system to get a catalog, because I figure, you're not stamping, or you're stamping with another demonstrator, which is fine, and then they'll send you your catalog. But if you have done so, then you'll get a catalog from me. Just make sure you reach out to me in case you've moved, and just shoot me an email and say, am I getting a catalog from you? And then I can see if you've moved or whatever, just so that they don't go to the wrong place. Alrighty, there's totally still time if you haven't placed that order and then you're in the system. If you're not ready to place an order and you still want a catalog and you don't have the demonstrator, just shoot me an email and I'll send you a PayPal link for $4.50, and then that just covers the postage. The catalog's free, and then I'll send you a coupon for the $4.50 off your first order from the new catalog. That's at least $50. If you missed the March 31st cutoff, then you have to wait till I get all my boxes of catalogs here, and then I have to send them, so it's a little bit more expensive. So $7.95 that will be. So I would just order something at least since October 2022. Like I said, if you've ordered at least $50 before tax and shipping, you're in the system. Just holler at me if you're not sure. All right. If you're one of my Paper Pumpkin people in my virtual club, all that good stuff. Also, here is my March host code. So if you are placing an order, please make sure you use this code when ordering if you're ordering less than $150. If you're ordering over $150 before tax and shipping, then you're getting your own hostess benefits, so then don't use my code. If you're in my virtual stamp club, you have your private code already. Okay, so that was a lot of blabbing, and we haven't even got to the card. All right. So let's see what I'm going to do today. So we are going to the main catalog, and it's this card right here. So the reflection isn't on it. It's this card right here. That's what I'm going to do. So I have my little recipe, and you can get the recipes for the current catalogs if you go to my blog, and on the top it'll say current catalogs. Just click on that. It will open up, and then you'll be able to get the recipes yourself. All right. So let's see. So here is the cute little stamp set. and then it has its matching die. And I just have these little circles. So green means a stamp set has a die. If I put a blue one, it means a punch. And then I just put a little dot on here, and the dot's actually on the paper. So I just kind of open it up and I put it on the paper in here. That way, if you put it on the plastic, I find that it gets rubbed off. But this way, if I'm looking through the, my cupboard, and I come across this, I know, oh, okay, this one has a die that goes with it. Or like I said, if it's blue, then it has a punch. So that's just, I like to be organized. Okay, so let's see. I need this right here. Now, I did stamp and die cut it ahead of time because I'm going to be doing 2 cards. Also, this had me using the StazOn pad, which is a permanent pad. And this is a photopolymer stamp set. And I don't particularly like using this StazOn with the photopolymer. I think it's, over time, I think it can have a reaction. So you just want to make sure you wash it. It's not a big deal. It's not going to like evaporate in your hand. But I mean, just make sure you wash it afterwards. But, so I don't usually use the StazOn, but that's what it called for because we're going to do some watercoloring. So I stamped, like I said, ahead of time, and we're using the shimmery. So it's hard to see, but it is a shimmery cardstock. That's what I like to use when I'm watercoloring. So let me bring over my little grid sheet. I'm going to be using my little silicone. So this is just that little silicone, mat we have in the catalog. And I just cut it into 4. And then I just have it with a cotton round. And that just allows me to keep my my water painter clean. Okay, so the colors that we're using, it says to use Flirty Flamingo and Crushed Curry. So there was not a whole lot of colors on the one in the catalog. So now, of course, when I do my twist, that's not going to be the same. So anyways, all right, so I'm just going to squeeze, and that's just going to clean out, anything I might have had on that before. All right, so we're just going to go into our Flirty Flamingo. Let me bring this down a little bit. And I want to do my kitty ear and then into the hearts. So when I'm coloring the hearts, I'm coloring them like individually instead of just going color, 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 so that each one has its own distinctive color. So as I get into more ink, this one will have a little bit different color, than the next one. But what's nice is the water painters hold a lot of ink, so you don't have to keep going and loading up your water painter. I can probably paint one more and see they're getting lighter and lighter, which is cool because then you have a variety of heart colors and they're not all identical. So I think Jeff said we're going to get some more rain this week. I'm like, good grief. We had planned on maybe going out because I told you he retired, so he bought a bass boat when he retired. And of course, we got it in December, and that's cold, Now, if you're sitting with 100 feet of snow in front of you, you're going to say, yeah, that is cold, Diana, you're just pulling my leg. But for Arizona, we've had cold weather, but we haven't been able to actually use the boat. All right, so now I'm going back into the Flirty, and I'm just going to put a little bit more on the hearts, just to have, so they have a little bit of some different colors in them. So anyways, so I guess when you get a new boat, you have to work the motor. Like you can't just all of a sudden, go driving really, really fast. You have to like break the motor in. So we were going to do it this week, but now I think it's going to rain. All right, so that looks good. Now I'm going to squeeze and just clean that up right on there. All right, and then everything else is crushed curry. So he came in this morning and he shows me his phone and it had that rain thing coming, you know. And I was like, oh, I'm like, but there's plenty of time. All right. So this is crushed curry. Now I want my kitty cat. He's fairly dark in the catalog, so he's going to be pretty potent. Especially since I'm using the same crushed curry on the basket. I don't want them to be the same color, so I'm making my kitty fairly dark. So look how quick and easy that was to color. I do love watercoloring. Oh, hang on a minute. I gotta do my basket. Hang on a second. I forgot my basket. Now this is also using Old Olive cardstock and the Wash and Beauty DSP. All right, so now I'm going to come over here, but I want to dilute this quite a bit because, like I said, I don't want the basket to be the same color as the kitty. So I'm just going to color it lightly. And I'm avoiding the handle. So when the wood grain goes this way, I like to color that way. So I'm going like this. And then when it goes this way, I like to color up and down. So it colors pretty quick. One basic load of the water painter and I colored the basket. Okay, so let's bring our card over. Now I'm also going to stamp, oh, and I closed that pad again. So I want to stamp my greeting on here with some crushed curry. And the greeting is this long one right here. It says, sending you some get well cheer. And that's just going to get stamped right on this, right in the center. Now I'm going to wash this because I changed my colors for my twist, so I don't want to forget that. So it's always best to wash your stamps when you're done with them. Okay, so we're going to trim this at an angle. So you want to make sure now that you know that the outgoing in colors, those will run out so quick, and I mentioned that last week, that you definitely want to grab those when you can, while you can, because even though we don't have the retired list, we know they're leaving. So definitely, grab your refill if you like a certain color. Make sure you grab that cardstock. All right, so this is just going to go in the center of this Old Olive, like that. And I'm going to use my green tip just because it allows me to have a little more wiggle room when I put that on there. All right, and that's just the glue we have in the catalog. I just put it in a different little holder. All right, so this is just going to go here, and I'm just kind of eyeballing that I have about the same distance between. You can adjust it just a little bit. It doesn't take long for it to set up. All right, but this looks fairly similar. I mean, this one may be a little bit bigger, but I'm not going to stress too much over it. All right, so let's put all our pieces together. So this is just that fun little heart. And I'm just going to use some glue dots to stick it behind our basket. So how many of you have this set? How many of you have it on your wish list? I hope it stays, but a lot of times some of my favorites leave and I'm like, no, I just barely. And isn't it bad to say it's a favorite and yet I say I haven't played with it yet? That's just so bad. All right, so we have our cute little basket full of hearts, and then I'm going to put this on with some glue dots so it's right on the card. And we're going to put it, this looks about where it is in the catalog. Then we're going to take our kitty. Now the kitty, I'm going to put on with some dimensionals. So he is popped up a little bit. So he goes right there, or she. All right. And then we have our cute little sending you some get well wishes. And I'm just going to use my edge dimensional because it's nice and skinny, so it's perfect for this. And we'll stick it on here so it kind of goes over our kitty a little bit. Like that. And then we have all these cute hearts. Now the hearts, there's a die that cuts these little hearts out. And I'm just going to flip them over. All right. Now I'm going to use the green tip glue. And I'm just going to drop 2, 3, 4. And then my picker tool. And I like this tone on tone. So I'm just going to hold that with my finger a little bit, just so that green tip can attach itself to the underside of that cardstock. And one here. And then 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll put one here. 5, 6, 7. So uneven is more pleasing to the eye. I know I say that every time. And 3. So just give them a little push. Make sure they're good and stuck to the card. Oops, this one is stuck to my finger. When you're doing yours at home, you're probably not going as fast as I am. All right, so here is the catalog version. What do you think? I love it. All right, so let's do the twist. All right, so again, I did do some stamping ahead of time, so you can already see, like, whoa, there's some major colors going on here. So, but yeah, there is. Okay, so I'm going to, I used the country, oh my gosh, I always get mixed up. Hang on a second. It's the country floral, yeah, I believe it's the country floral. Hang on, it's in the mini catalog. You need to get it. It is the cutest, no, country gingham. Country gingham. So this is a country gingham DSP. Poppy Parade. Now this is sweet sorbet, but I'm using it with the poppy and it looks fine. And then this is balmy, so those are some of the colors that are in there. Now I also am going to be using the blends. So I didn't do shimmery cardstock this time. I did basic white because I'm going to do my coloring with the Stampin' blends. All right. It's like I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Okay, so we have, I don't need this. I can get that out of the way. I also am going to have it be, instead of hearts this time, I want to make it be like an apple basket. So I have these cute little apples. I still have the kitty. And I still have the basket. I also want this die and this die. So these are all pieces. And it also gives you a handle. So I did it in the silver foil. And then this time I have Poppy Parade hearts. So let's get to coloring so that you're not here all day. All right, so we have Flirty Flamingo for our ears of our kitty, and a little bit in her belly and her cheeks. All right, so it's a little bit more for her belly. This is petal, light petal, just to soften these a little bit. And I'm just going to make her be like a gray tabby, I guess you would call her. So I'm just going to very quickly, this is light gray granite. I'm just coloring, not everywhere, because she's already got like these lines. So I'm going to come back with the dark gray so that she's got a mixture of colors. So here's her cute little gray face. And I'm going right over the petal and the flirty on her face because it still will come through. And I'm just kind of wiggling so it looks furry and not just perfect. All right, and then we're going to do the dark gray. So then she'll have some fun. The other day I was looking for Jeff, so I thought he was in his shop. So I opened up the shop door and the neighbor's cat came flying out of there. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I don't know if she was in there all night or if he shut her in the morning or what, but I told him to keep an eye out in case there was like kitty poo or anything. But he didn't say there was. All right, so there's our cute little cat. Doesn't she look adorable? With kind of like that gray look to her. All right, so let's do our apples. Now the apples, you know me, I love the parakeet. So we're gonna do light and dark parakeet for the leaves. So yeah, the computer's in the shop. I think I said that. I don't know if I mentioned that the other day on my video or not, but so hopefully I'll get it back this week early and it will be easy to set up. All right, so let's see here. I also want to take number 400 and we're gonna do our apples, but I want to add a little bit of number 400 to my apples before I color them in poppy. And this will just give me that third red, that third poppy color, and it just gives them kind of like a natural red look, you know, especially when it's an apple, right? All right, so I'm just putting this just around the edge. All right, then I want my dark poppy, and what I'll do is I'm going to color it right over top where I went with that 400, but I'm going to color it more. I'm going to bring it out so it'll be darker and then not quite as dark where I come out, and then when I finish it with the light poppy, it will actually give us like 3 variations of red. And you can do this with soft suede, you know, as well. I mean that number 400, like if you don't have the 400, you could choose, you know, a soft suede blend to add that first before the poppy. Any of the browns work pretty good. All right. This marker's almost bit the dust. All right, so there's the dark. And then I'll take my light and just finish it. And it doesn't have to be perfect down here on the bottom because that's going to get tucked up underneath the basket. You won't even see it. But just in case any shows, I do want, you know, to put some poppy down there just in case it were to show a little bit. I wouldn't want any white showing. All right, so that adds my light, and our apples are almost done. And then we'll color the basket. So I think coloring with more colors already made me like the twist better, even though, like I always say, that it's not a competition. I don't do this to see like, oh, how can I be better? I don't do it for that. It's just for fun. It's just kind of a challenge, and it makes you realize how valuable the catalog is because it's just full of ideas. All right, so now this is the number 600, and I'm going to color the whole basket, and I'm going right over top of the handle because you're not going to see that handle. So just like before, even though the blends don't show lines, you know, like regular marker would, I'm still going back and forth this way, the way the wood is. So this is number 600. So don't forget, I have just a couple of the milkshake class, and then I need to get my registration out for April, which will be the Adorable Owls, and you'll be getting blends at that class, and then the little owls will be just a free gift, and it's up to you if you take it or not. You might go, oh, I don't need it, I already have it, and that's fine, or you can take it. Okay, then I want to do 400, and we're going to put a little bit, so I'm just drawing these lines, and then it just makes it look kind of like wood, like a wood grain. So just draw from the edge and over. Like that. And then I want to take number 300, and it's even darker. And I'll do the same thing, but just not as much. Just more at the edge. So it's just kind of like a shadow edge. As it goes around the side of the basket, it would be darker. Okay. Alrighty. So then I want to do 400 on these up and down ones. Because I didn't want my basket to be all the same wood grain. So we're going up and down. I remember picking apples as a teenager in Canada. So I'm so excited. Oops. Because Jeff planted, he's calling his orchard, and I've mentioned that in a video before, and he's got 3 apple trees and a plum and a peach, an orange and an apricot. I think that's what he's got out there, and little tomatoes and then cucumbers. All right, so let's see, number 300. But there's so many like little flowers on them already, and I think it'll be several years before we see any fruit. But the peach has these little fuzzy things. I'm like, would that be a peach if it was a older tree? I don't know. I'm a stamper, not a orchard person, but it is fun to go and look at them. All right, so I'm just using the 300, and I just want to have a little bit of a variation in colors, but I am going to go back over with that number 600 just to soften it a little bit. I love coloring wood. Oh my gosh, because it's natural, it's easy. It's so forgiving. All right, so that looks good. Doesn't that look good? All right, so let's do my gel pen. Okay, I know we don't have a gel pen in the catalog, but I always have them on my desk. For my events, I always give them, I have them away. I have them in there. Sometimes I do for classes, but I just get them off of Amazon. But I'm going to put a little white here and there on my apples. And I wanted it to be good and dry. If you do it too soon, then it turns pink because the red isn't all the way dry yet. All right, so I don't have to put it on every single one of them. All right, then I also want to put it a little bit here and there on my basket. And it just makes it look more real. I think. Anyways, all right. So there is that. So let's put our card together. All right, so we have, let's move this stuff out of the way here. We have our card. So again, it was Poppy Parade as my card base. And this is that country gingham. And I want to back this with the Balmy because I'm using Balmy here and I also used Balmy here. So I just kind of want to emphasize it. Plus it just softens that from just being right onto here. Because this is also, like I said, sweet sorbet. And it goes really good with the Poppy. But by putting that little bit of Balmy in between the two, then it's less obvious that it might not be the identical color. But if I don't see Balmy and Poppy together, I get them confused because they're very similar in color. Poppy's just more vibrant. All right, so that's there. And then this will go on the card. So just in the center, just like we did with the old olive card. Again, I'm just using the green tip glue. It allows for a little wiggle room. Looks fairly straight. And then I can see it's a little bit longer here, so I'll have to trim that. All right, so let's do the inside. The inside, I want to do 2 of these because I've used both of these on the front. I don't always do that, but a lot of times I try to. I mean, I'm sure if you are like me and you have DSP everywhere, you might as well use it up. All right, so that's on the inside of the card. And then we'll cut that. And then let's put a greeting on the inside. So the inside greeting, let me get my mat over here. All right, so the inside is going to be Poppy Parade. Get that open. And so I want my one little strip. I want to make sure, did I already stamp on my strip? I don't think I did. All right, so let's stamp on my strip. All right, so it's going to be the same little, sending you some Get Well Cheer down the center. And here it's going to be the other greeting that's in there, which is, you fill my day with happiness. Now you might be going, well, that doesn't make sense, you know, but it will in a minute. All right, so we have our, you fill my day with happiness. Okay, so let's start to put our card together. So we have our cute little basket. Now, these are part of the die, and that's where I used that other Balmy Blue gingham. And they make these cute little hankies. So I want to put a hanky here, and what that's going to do is going to cover the top so you won't see this handle here, because this handle, it doesn't really match it. I mean, so I don't think it was supposed to match it. You see what I mean? So I'm just covering it because I love the look of the cute little doily, or the little hankies on the basket. So I cut 2 of them so they look like, you know, there's a like a towel or whatever inside the basket. So I'm just going to stagger them a little bit. So we have our 2 little whatchamacallits. So I need to put another little glue dot back there. So it's good and secure. All right. And then I also want to just flip this up a little bit. I'm just going to kind of flip it so it looks like, you know, the wind's catching it and it's got a little bit of motion to it. All right. So now we have our handle. And I'm just going to attach it in the corner. Now, the other one I did differently, so we're going to see the difference. All right, so this one, I just want a tiny little glue because it's just a tiny little handle. And I'll put that on there and there. So we'll just hold that for a second. Like I said, I'm always going faster than I would if it was just me and my TV making cards. I go a little bit slower and let glue dry. But for the videos, I always try to go too fast. All right, so hopefully that's good. All right, so there's our cute little handle. Now, if it gets too loose, you could put glue under here, but I kind of like that it's a little free. Okay, so we have our apples, and I'm going to put them on with glue dots like I did before. So I'm just kind of making them be half, like, so that's good. And then we'll stick our apples in the basket. So cute. All right, so let's bring our card over. So I also did Poppy Parade hearts, and there's one on my glue dots that I had left over. All right, so let's put this on. Now this time I'm going to put this on with dimensionals just because this is a little busier and we have all the color going on the basket, so it's busy too. So I'm going to put dimensionals so that it raises off of the gingham a little bit better than just being stuck on there, you know, just with a dimensional. I mean a glue dot. All right, so we've got our cute little basket here. I'm going to also pop the kitty. So I'm just going to put her dimensionals over here, and she'll just rest in front of the basket. Now this time I'm going to bring her down so she's in front of the basket, so you can see like visually the basket's behind her. All right, just by bringing her down instead of where this one, so she's pretty much level with the basket. Here she's in front of the basket. Okay, so let's put these hearts. Now these hearts this time I put with glue dots, so they'll have a little bit of, they'll stick out a little bit, but you do have to push the, I have ink all over my finger. You do have to push the, I'm gonna wash my hands, hold on. I'm just gonna get something, a mess somewhere, I just know it. Okay, so you do have to push the glue dot because the glue dot is a little bit bigger than the heart. So when you lay it on there, you kind of have to poke the glue dot back behind. So try to, you know, put that heart on there as good as you can. It'll just peek out a little bit, and then I just kind of fold it over. And this way these little hearts will have a little bit more definition than they did on the old olive one. All right. Also, let's do my greeting before I put the hearts, just so I make sure I have room for it. All right, so remember I said the inside is going to say happiness. What does it say? You fill my day with happiness. So that's going to go on the inside. And then, but remember it says sending you some get well cheer. Well, that doesn't really make sense to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut cheer and get well off of there. And now it simply says sending you some cheer. So that can be for anything, right? Okay, so let's put our dimensionals on there. See if I have any more edge pieces. I'm almost done my edge pieces. I like to use them up first and then they're gone. All right, so there we have. It's the perfect size for this skinny. I think that's like a 3/4 of an inch strip. All right, so sending you some. So let's put cheer. And then sending you, let's put it along the same, like this. Sending you some cheer. Okay, so now we can put our hearts on and we'll be done. So I'm just gonna fold that over and then you don't have a glue dot sticking into your envelope or whatever. So it's easy just to fold that down. Fold. Oh my gosh, hang on a minute. I should just show you the finished card. All right, let's see here. 1, 2, 3. How many? I need one more to make it uneven. Oh wait, you know what? Hang on a second. I'm going to put one here because then it makes it look like it's on that towel. There, doesn't it make it look like it's on the towel? All right, I think I'm done. One more. We'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's we go. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. Okay, so what do you think? Isn't that so cute? Oh my gosh. All right, so here is the, look at that mess. Always such a mess. All right, so here's the catalog version. And did I put anything on the inside? I didn't. I did not put anything on the inside of the catalog version I want. And then here is my twist version. So now the one I did earlier, I made the greetings come down a little bit, you know, into the basket. But other than that, it's pretty much the same card. So I know my favorite. And I still need to trim this, right? Because it's a little bit too long there. And I'll trim it later. All right, so let me say see you later, alligator. So yeah, so hopefully you like that. And if you have any questions at all, make sure you holler at me. I will put the supply list down below. And I will see you tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesdays at 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. Unless you changed your clocks, and then it will be different for you. I shouldn't laugh because I don't think anybody likes changing their clocks. All right, so I'm going to say see you later. Have a great night, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye for now.